All right, let's come to the big controversy and the juicy story really through the day. Virat Kohli is finding himself hitting the headlines for various reasons. Few days ago, there were reports that there was a tiff going on between him and Rohit Sharma when they seemed to have dropped out of matches where the other was captaining in the upcoming tour. Today, in a press conference, he pretty much refuted the claims of BCCI Saurav Ganguly that it was him who wanted to drop out of the one-day international captaincy because, and they asked him to stay back. Virat Kohli seemed to suggest that that wasn't the case at all. Listen in to what he said in a press conference today.
Whatever was said about the communication that happened during the decision that was made was inaccurate. I was contacted 1.5 hours before the selection meeting on the 8th for the test series, and there was no prior communication with me at all since I announced the T20 captaincy decision up till the 8th of December, where, as I said, I got a call 1.5 hours before the selection meeting, and the chief selector discussed with me the test team, to which we both agreed. And before ending the call, I was told that the 5 selectors have decided that I will not be the ODI captain, to which I replied, okay, fine. And in the selection call afterwards, we chatted about it briefly, and that's what happened. There was no communication prior to that at all.
The one and only K. Srinivas Rao, cricket editor of the Times of India, joins us to explain what really is going on. Mr. Rao, can you begin by just putting it in very simple terms what the fight is all about, and is Mr. Virat Kohli being treated unfairly?
Hi, Tamanna. Pleasure to be here. Well, treated unfairly. First of all, let's start with the main controversy. There are only 2 possibilities here. Either Virat Kohli is lying or the BCCI is lying. Very simple. Now, this is not even about the BCCI president, okay? This is about BCCI. And I'll tell you why. The captain of the Indian team is sitting in a press conference, which is hosted by the BCCI. And he says in that press conference, remember, this is not some random interview given to one news channel or one newspaper. This is a live press conference where 100 journalists are there and listening to him. And in that, he says that there was no communication from the BCCI president. And how many days after? 6 days after the BCCI president gives out a statement saying, I personally spoke to Virat Kohli. So there is no doubt about it that the BCCI now has to come out and clarify what Virat Kohli is saying. That is one part of the story. The other part of the story is how many one-day internationals and how many test matches and how many T20s has Virat Kohli played. He has been in the international scenario for over a decade. He's a World Cup winning cricketer. Now, a cricketer of this stature, this experience, announces his retirement from one format, T20. Whose call was it? He says it was his call, right? He wanted to quit the captaincy. Now, before he did that, did he get in touch with the BCCI to try and understand what does the BCCI or what does the chairman of the selection committee or what does the new coach think about the idea of split captaincy? He said, I'm resigning from T20 captaincy. He didn't say anything about one-day captaincy. He said, I'm keeping one-day captaincy. So did he at that point of time not find it necessary to have the BCCI's ear and try and... See, this is not about what Saurav Ganguly is saying. Saurav Ganguly's statement, whether he's called, whether he's not called, that BCCI must clarify, and they must do it separately, which is because the institution is under question here, not one man. But on the other side, Virat also has to explain, did he think that BCCI was okay with the idea of split captaincy? Was it his unilateral call here? Did he try and understand from the selectors what do they want to do? So, a gamut of questions here, and I don't think there is clarity over anything. Well, one has to give it to Virat that he has chosen to come out in the public and speak about this. Yes, and he's put his side of the story out.
Yeah.
BCCI has to do the same thing now.
No. So that's the thing of great interest, Mr. Rao. A lot of these things happen behind closed doors, under wraps. It's very rare that a rift like this comes out. So right now it's about Kohli and BCCI. Earlier it was about Kohli and Rohit Sharma. Why do you think this is happening?
First of all, when you said that it's very rare that a rift like this comes out, let me tell you that in all the years that I have covered cricket, and I have seen a lot of episodes like these, I have covered when the Saurav Ganguly Greg Chappell episode was at its peak. But I have never seen anything like this in all my years of cricket reporting. And even from the stories that I've heard from senior journalists, former journalists over a longest period of time, I have never heard anything like this, that a sitting captain of the Indian team has gone into a press conference hosted by the BCCI and has raised questions over BCCI's integrity and whether they are saying the truth or the lie. I have never heard something like this. So, the onus is clearly on the BCCI here to come out and clarify. And I seriously think that they need to come out and issue a statement, because this is not just about now. This is about long-term repercussions. Long-term repercussions on the integrity of the board vis-a-vis their captain, and what is the kind of policy they have in place and what is the example that they are setting going forward. That is one part of the thing. What do I think about the rift? This rift was not overnight in the making. This rift has been there for the longest time. We have heard only in bits and pieces. I know, 2016, what happened when Anil Kumble came in as the coach. Did the captain want Anil Kumble as the coach? Did anybody ask him? But Anil Kumble came in as the coach. Did the captain accept what the BCCI gave him? No, he did not. But why did it went out silently? Because BCCI was not in charge. The Supreme Court appointed committee of administrators were in charge. And let me tell you, for all their faults, they were wonderful at bureaucracy. And that is why they managed it well. Now, the bureaucracy is out and the BCCI is, the typical BCCI that we know is back in the room. So that is why things are not being managed the way they should be. They need to come out. The BCCI needs to come out and spell it out as to what this is about. Because, again, this is not about the Anil Kumble episode. When Ravi Shastri came on, why did Ravi Shastri come on board as coach? Because Virat Kohli put his foot down and said, I want Ravi Shastri as the coach of the Indian team. That is why he came on board as coach. Was Ravi Shastri being allowed to come in? BCCI has to answer that, has to look, not answer that, but probably look into the past. Look at what all Virat has gone through. And at the same time, Saurav Ganguly sits in the chair of the president of the BCCI. It doesn't matter what Saurav Ganguly, the individual, is. He is the president of the BCCI, and some very, very powerful and important individuals have sat in that chair. We have the likes of Jagmohan Dalmia, Sharad Pawar, and Srinivasan, Shashank Manohar. They have all been very capable administrators. Before that, you have had the likes of, Madhurav Scindia, who has sat in that chair. So people of great reputations have sat in that chair. So the chair is very, very sanctimonious. And can the BCCI protect the sanctimony of that chair? It is extremely important. And let me say this, Samanna, that BCCI is at crossroads right now. If the BCCI does not come and resolve this for the better going forward, this is a problem that will continue to fester into Indian cricket and have major repercussions going forward. Absolutely major repercussions going forward, which starts from today. So the onus is on BCCI to right now come and clear this. I was actually hearing that they would do something today.
Sure. No, we'll come to that point about, whether the BCCI will come out and clear the air. The speculation going on right now is about why. Is Mr. Kohli being, quote unquote, treated this way because of his comments publicly about Mohammad Shami? Has there been a recent rift that we don't know about? What do you have to say to all of these speculations?
I don't think so. See, why are people mixing things here? What he had to say about Mohammad Shami was the right thing. Oh, he said it. He needs to be given credit for it. Okay, why? Because he stood by his teammate. If like that, he should also stand by, Ravichandran Ashwin. He should also stand by everybody in the team, whether it is Kuldeep Yadav, whether it is Karun Nair, everyone in the team. So this is not about Mohammad Shami. This is now about each and every cricketer in the Indian team who may or may not have been unfairly treated. It is a job of the captain to stand by his teammate. So there are no favors here. When Sourav Ganguly was the captain of the Indian team, let us take a look. Who did he stand by? Virendra Sehwag, Yuvraj Singh, Harbhajan Singh. There is it's a long list of there is a number of players that so Ganguly stood by as captain. And we all know that, that bunch actually, prospered under Ganguly's captaincy. Now, let's keep the controversies aside and keep the role as captain aside. Rahul Dravid has been a captain. Again, there have been off-field controversies and Greg Chappell was the coach. That is no barometer, no indication of how you should be behaving with your teammates. So, for example, what is Virat Kohli's relationship in dressing room with Rohit Sharma has no bearing on what Virat Kohli is right now accusing the BCCI of. These are two very, very different things. The dressing room has its own importance. It's a very, very sanctimonious place. No outsider, and I want to repeat this, no outsider, including the office bearers of the BCCI, have any place inside the BCCI dressing room. That dressing room only belongs to the players and the coach and the coaching staff. Whoever that coach may be, whoever that captain may be, and whoever the players may be, the BCCI has no say in the dressing room. Outside of that, the Indian team is answerable to the BCCI. The BCCI is answerable to the public of India. And this is a circus right now, absolute circus. Who is answerable to who? I'll put it very, very simply here. They are answerable to the fans. And they need to come out and they need to spell it out in the open, everything. I'll give you another example, Tamanna. I wrote a story in the Times of India that Virat Kohli had asked for leave from the ODIs. And Virat Kohli went into the press conference and argued that he did not ask for leave from the ODI. I, as a journalist, still stand by my story. And I'm saying that had the schedule in South Africa not changed, things would have turned out differently. But fair enough. I, as a journalist, I'm taking the word of the Indian captain and I respect his space. If Virat Kohli, the captain of the Indian team, says that I did not ask for leave during the ODIs, I have to take that word. It's as important as that the BCCI comes back and reacts to what this Indian captain is saying and acts accordingly and tries and finds out that, whatever they have done is actually the truth, or somebody here is not telling the truth. It's extremely important.
Absolutely. It's become quite a circus there. Just one last point, Mr. Rao. You were saying that you're expecting the BCCI to come out and speak soon?
Yes, I do. I was actually expecting the BCCI to do something today. But you know what? I am also, of the view that, the BCCI must be watching. There is all sorts of madness out there, absolute madness out there. Everybody in the ecosystem, outside the ecosystem, has a view on everything, has a view on the Indian team, has a view on the Indian dressing room, has a view on what the captain is saying, has a view on what the BCCI is saying. So at this point in time, maybe they think that they will be lost in translation if they say something. So maybe they want to take a step back, come out later, and then say that, yes, this is what we think. See, Virat Kohli was given a space. He got to attend a press conference where 100 journalists heard him out. He got his space exclusively and he got to make his point. Whether it was right, whether it was wrong, Virat knows it, BCCI knows it. Similarly, the BCCI should also have its space, come out here and clarify what Virat Kohli has said. Mind you, this is one part. And second, very, very important point that Virat Kohli has made, that I was always available for the ODIs and I will always continue to be available for ODIs, and or something on those lines, where he'll be continuing to make himself available for all formats. Now, will the BCCI set up a policy in terms of what a player can do, what a player cannot do? Like, I'm an employee, you are an employee in an organization, we all have a set number of leaves that we can take. Is that applicable for a cricketer too? Is the BCCI going to draw out a policy here? There are so many things here. So many things that the board only can answer and nobody else. And that is the reason
And
I
you know,
expect BCCI.
I think the key point you have made is that it's sure we'll have to wait and see if BCCI comes out and speaks. But you know, the one big takeaway is that there is so much interest in this right now. Everyone has a view, everyone has an opinion, which is why this departure from the kind of subjects we usually cover to go into this cricketing controversy, because it's all that anyone can talk about today. And I want to thank you, Mr. Rao, for coming in and explaining what exactly is going on to the viewers of this show. So thanks for that. We'll take a very short break, but we'll be back with a lot more. Stay tuned.